we are in Winchester, Virginia. We have Dr. Vicken Kalbian. He is what is believed to be the true inspiration behind the Kushner Peace to Prosperity Peace Plan, bringing $50 billion to create economic prosperity. In fact, Mr. Kalbian was one of the people who brought this original idea to Martin Luther King Jr. Could you explain how you met him and how this idea came about, Dr. King?
Well, no, I don't remember the date, but it's in the book. But I got a telephone call from, this is the Jordanian Jerusalem. We're in the 1950s. Jerusalem is a divided city. There's West Jerusalem in Israel, and East Jerusalem is in Jordan. I'm living in East Jordan. I was chief of medicine at the Augusta Victoria Hospital on the Mount of Olives, next to the old Hebrew University. And I get a call from the tourist office of the Jordanian government saying that we have a VIP who just flew in from Beirut, but he was already sick at the airport in Kalania, the little airport they had north of Jerusalem. He's a VIP, and could you go and see him? So I said, fine, I'll go whenever I finish my rounds in the hospital. So I did, and I went over to the YMCA, which is now no more the YMCA, but it's a hotel. It's across the
King
School.
And the King David's Hotel, right?
How's that?
And the King David Hotel.
No.
Oh.
This is the old YMCA. There were two YMCA's
Okay.
in those days. The one in West Jerusalem across from King David, and one in East Jerusalem, which was a 6-story building next to the American consulate at Mandelbaum Gate, which was the crossing point between the two parts of the city. And so I went over, and I was taken to the room, and knocked at the door, and I was invited in, and they're lying in bed next to each other with Dr. and Mrs. Martin Luther King. And I, of course, knew him immediately. I had seen him on the cover of Time magazine when he won the Nobel Prize, so I'm used to VIP because weeks earlier I was going to treat Senator Scoop Jackson of Washington State. He was, whenever VIP was passing from Jerusalem, they would invariably get the bug and have the run, so they would need health care. So either the tourist department or one of the consulates would ask me to go and see these people. So I met a whole array of personalities. Anyway, so we got to, well, both he and his wife, Coretta, were sick. And I took care of them. I cannot talk about their illness.
No, of course not.
Would remain a professional. They had visited Israel maybe a dozen times, but had never come to the Jordanian East Jerusalem. And of course, it had been his wish to do so because for a Christian pastor it is the Jordanian side of the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, that are the high points of Jesus' ministry, rather than the Haifa, Tel Aviv, Petah Tikva region, the coastal plains. Jesus never went to the coastal plains. And so we got to talking, and he had absolutely no concept of the Palestinian side of the story. He'd been invited by the Israelis a dozen times, and he knew their side pretty well. So he was fascinated, and I arranged for him a couple of days later to have dinner with the Palestinians who were living in East Jerusalem then. The mayor, al-Khatib, the editor of the newspaper, the English paper, Raja Elisa, the ex-foreign minister, Musa Nasser, who was also the founder of Birzeit University. And I arranged for them to have a luncheon at the National Hotel in Jerusalem. And I followed up, and it was a total revelation for Dr. King, because he had not heard the Palestinian side of the story. He never wrote to me to thank me, but one of his associates, who is still alive and lives in Atlanta.
Ambassador Young? Andrew Young?
Andrew Young. A charming man. When he was in Jerusalem later on, we met him at a dinner party, and he sat next to Ada, Andrew Young.
He was very charismatic.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I remember quite well.
Absolutely. He was mayor of Atlanta. And, why did I mention Andrew Young? Anyway, I have a letter from Andrew Young saying that when he went back, he talked to Dr. King about his visit and the fact that he had met me in a dinner, and Dr. Young, Dr. King remembered me, and the letter says he sends you his personal regards. That's the, and of course when we came to the States in 1968, and he had told me whenever you come to the States, make sure to look me up. Well, we had just settled down here
in Winchester, Virginia?
Winchester, Virginia, and the next thing we hear, Martin Luther King has been assassinated. So I never got to see him.
How old was Dr. King at that time? Do you recall?
He was in his 30s. He must have been in his 30s. He was still a young man.
About the Christ age, 33, wasn't it? Same age as Christ? Yeah.
You know, nobody knew this, but apparently some crazy woman in New York tried to assassinate Martin Luther King, a black woman, and stabbed him in his chest. Because when I examined him, I saw a big scar over the chest. And I said, "What's that?" Well, I said, "It's an old story," and I told him the story.
I had never heard that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Did you know about that?
Now that's fascinating. But so after you have the meeting, you have Dr. King and his wife as patients. You have him introduced to the Palestinian community, and then from there he gets the vision that for a two-state solution, for Palestinians and Jews to live together, they have to be prosperity for the Arab.
Absolutely. Up till then, there was no Arab side to
His vision or his knowledge, yeah.
his knowledge. Yes. He was very gracious, very grateful, and you know, very easy to talk to. As I said, I had promised Andrew Young that as soon as we came to the States, we would contact him, but he was shot. When? Which month was it? In '68? April? March?
I can't remember right now offhand. So what is fascinating is this chance of him being ill in Jerusalem, you being his medical doctor, and having this introduction, created this vision of him saying that without Arab, prosperity and economic prosperity, the Arabs will never be a true peace. This is exactly what Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of the president, has done for peace for prosperity as part of his peace plan.
Yeah.
And what even more amusing is when I asked Mr. Kushner directly, did he know about the king's peace plan for the Middle East and the peace of the prosperity and economic prosperity? It seemed that he had never heard of it before. So something that was deriving from you to King now is the key to the Middle East peace plan, $50 billion for investment in God.
You're talking about Jared Kushner.
Yeah, Jared Kushner, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an Orthodox Jew.
Yeah.
I gather you're Armenian Orthodox?
Yeah.
I'm a Russian Orthodox, and Palestinian Muslims. So simple solutions are so obvious sometimes people just miss them.
Yeah, I know.
Well, today is also J.F. Kennedy's assassination
Yes.
day.
Yes.
23rd of November.
Yes. But thank you. No, this is a fascinating bit of history, but most history is made by chance.
How's that?
Most history is created by chance.
I know.
Very little things by chance create most. But it's my honor, and thank you so much for giving me this time.